The Philippines is hoping the United Nations Tribunal in The Hague will help resolve its maritime issues with China. Christian Esguerra discusses possible outcomes of the case.
It's like the proverbial clash between David and Goliath, a small country going up against its giant neighbor. China is claiming the whole of the South China Sea, citing the so-called nine-dash-line historical claim. And for the Philippines to challenge that claim before the international community is in itself a game changer. But what are the country's chances of winning? The government is confident it will emerge the victor. Its optimism bolstered even more by the acquisition of a 300-year-old map showing that Panatag Shoal of Zambales indeed belongs to the Philippines. But what happens if the decision, expected to come out next year, does not favor the Philippines?
If we lose the case, then it's going to be a new era for China, and definitely they will flex their muscle, and that's a history. I mean, that's going to be a game changing in terms of the security environment in the Asia-Pacific region.
Cabalsa, a security expert, says China will likely be more aggressive in its claim over the South China Sea, where it's already reclaiming islands and building structures. But another China expert, former Ambassador Jose Apolinario Lozada, placed down a victory for the Philippines in the International Tribunal.
Even if we win there, that's actually just a public relations issue. That would really give the Philippines, some push, some good words from the other countries. Okay, but what will the country really benefit?
Lozada, a foreign affairs advisor during the Ramos administration, says the Philippines should sit down with China to settle at least a dispute over Panatag Shoal, which involves just the two countries. Cabalsa says there's no harm in this approach. But the Spratlys, both experts agree, is a different matter because there are claimants other than China in the Philippines.
On the part of the Scarborough, it is a bilateral problem between us and China. I say bilateral because it's a common problem between the two countries, Philippines and China. So it is logical that we should really sit down with China, try to reach out an agreement with them on solving that.
But how likely will China sit down with the Philippines, with Washington's shadow looming large on the horizon? Lozada admits it will not be easy, but says the United States and other ASEAN members could join as observers. He says it's better to have bilateral talks on Panatag sooner than later.
If in the remote possibility that we lose in the arbitration, then we have no choice. We have to look for another solution. And maybe drastically sit down with the Chinese. But are we going to wait for that? I think that we should not.
Magdalor Representative Francisco Ashley Acidillo sees no problem in talking with China at lower levels, like on matters such as trade or cultural exchanges.
Yes, we must be hopeful of engaging China in a more constructive and friendly manner, but at the same time, let us be ready to exert our sovereignty and our prerogatives over what we consider as our national territory.
At the very least, Lozada says Beijing and Manila can agree to disagree on Panatag. That may not be much, but in foreign diplomacy, it could go a long way. Christian Esguerra, ABS-CBN News.